Hey loves, welcome to my channel. This is Sassy Love Tarot. In today's reading, we are checking with Spirit on what you need to know right now. I am leaving it open to your guides, your angels, or any other higher beings who want to come through with a message to you. And in order for you to receive the most relevant messages, simply follow your intuition and pick a pile or piles from the options below that you are most attracted to. And today we've got 3 different options for you. Option number 1 here is the Tattoo Tarot with some red jasper. Option number 2 here is the Wandering Star Tarot with some blue apatite. Option number 3 here is the Star Spinner Tarot with some amethyst. Once you have chosen your pile or piles, you could find the corresponding timestamps down in the description box. I like shuffling on camera, and I do keep these clips as part of the reading for your reference in case you would like to get a sense of what the energy feels like. It is totally up to you whether you would like to watch the shuffling or just jump straight to your reading. Again, you could find the timestamps down below, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, pile number 1. If you have chosen this beautiful Tattoo Tarot along with the red jasper, then this is going to be the shuffling process for your pile. Again, feel free to skip ahead if you are not interested in watching the shuffling. I just keep this process on camera because I like this extra time to ground myself and to tune myself into your group's energy. So now let me start off with some oracle cards. Spirit, please tune me in to group 1, to my pile 1's energy. What is the most important piece of message you have for my dear pile number 1? All right, we've got our first card coming out. Spirit, what else? What do you want my dear pile 1 to know, please? What's the most important messages for my dear pile 1 to know? Spirit, what's the most important messages you have for my dear pile 1? All right. And now let's shuffle some tarots. Let's see. Oops. Let's see. Spirit, what important messages do you have for my dear pile number 1? Please, Spirit, please tune me in to pile number 1's energy. Oh my gosh, these nails are not okay. Let's see. 2 more, please, Spirit. What else do you have for my dear pile number 1? Please, Spirit. What else do you have for my dear pile number 1, please? All right. And 1 more, please, Spirit. 1 more. Oof. Okay, I guess we have 2. We have the 5 of Cups. Let me readjust that to make sure everything is on camera. And we have the Ace of Coin. There we go. All right. Okay. Yeah, I think. Wow, I'm getting really shaky right now. Look at that. All right. Wow, very exciting energy. Okay, so pile number one, that was your shuffling process. Thank you so much for sharing this divine time with me. And now let's dive right into your reading. Hello, pile number one. Welcome to your reading. If you have chosen the Tattoo Tarot along with the red jasper, then this is going to be your reading. Welcome. So I have just shuffled some oracle cards for you along with these tarot cards, and I want to take a look at what spirit has in terms of the most important message for you to know right now. Okay, so the first card that came out for you was this one, fifth house, with the keyword creativity. And the number on this card is 29, which reduces to 11, and that is a master number. So for those of you who are not super familiar with master number 11 is the number for the great psychic. So I feel like for those of you who have chosen this pile, you might be pretty advanced in your spiritual journey. You might be quite in tune with your higher self, with your spirit guides, or perhaps your star family. And with the fifth house coming out, along with this creativity, I feel like Spirit is saying that this is a time, this is a period of time for you to grow, especially if you have been thinking about potentially a new idea, especially if it's a business idea, if there's a love interest, or if there's literally, if you want a child or something. I mean, obviously that's super specific, and it's not going to be applicable to everybody, but creativity and the fifth house makes me think of this super pumped up, useful energy, full of life, and it's almost brimming. Like when I started shuffling your cards, I was getting super shaky, and I haven't had that much coffee today. So I was feeling very, very boosted up with this super exciting energy, and I just can't wait to dive into your reading. And even now, when I'm talking, I could feel that I am talking really, really fast. And I feel like that could be your group's energy. You might have been in this like really fast growing period of time in your life. Maybe you're starting a new chapter. And what really pops up in my head right now is that some of you might be starting a new job, or maybe you just started just some sort of new journey. Maybe you moved to a different city, maybe you just started grad studies, or you just transferred to a new school, something like that. And I think what Spirit is saying is that you've made a good decision by committing to whatever you just committed to. And this is a place where you can really just let your creativity flow and getting into kind of a period of abundance. So that's what I'm seeing with this card. And along with this card with Galactic Mushroom, the Divine Matrix, and also the number 24 here. So the number 24 reduces to 6, which is the number of reciprocity, of unconditional love. And number 6 within tarot, that also corresponds to the Lover's card. And it is Gemini energy. And Gemini, at least for me, it represents connectivity. It's yin and yang. It's like two forces coming together. And with this galactic mushroom and the divine matrix, this makes me think of interconnectivity, about network, about relationships. It doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship or something like that. Again, I feel like for this pile specifically, I'm kind of feeling more of an studies, career advancement, business sort of vibe. And with this galactic mushroom, I feel like Spirit is telling you that there are people out there in whatever platform that you're currently at, whether that's a school, that's a community, and professional organization, whatever, there are people who are cut from the same cloth. There are people who are part of your matrix that spirit is encouraging you to be connecting with. And these people might just turn out to be super helpful for you as you move forward with your journey. And I'm almost kind of getting this business and networking sort of vibe. Maybe you will run into somebody who later became your mentor, or perhaps someone who just have amazing ideas that you share your visions with, and you could potentially collaborate to make something, to create something together, to really unleash this fifth house energy. And again, I think this doesn't necessarily have to be something super serious, because fifth house, that does reminds me of hobbies, interests, and this sort of like playful energy. So this could literally be you finding your tribe, or you finding people within your network who share similar interests with you, and you guys are gonna come together and have a great time. I think that could potentially be something, if that's something you're looking for as well. And then with this card, number 28, Tame and a Tang. To be honest, seeing this horse, so horse obviously represents freedom, and it is kind of like a fast moving energy that's always running forward. But you also see that there's this tame. So this reminds me of the Chariot card within tarot. And when I upload this video, it is the year of 2023, and that's the number of the year 2023 that reduces to 7, which corresponds to the Chariot. So it's a Chariot year in 2023, and that means victory, that means moving forward, that means immense growth and many opportunities for you to advance. And I feel like with this Tame and the Tang, it is kind of giving off similar vibes, where you have to kind of get something under control. You have to go for it, kind of like take a leap of faith, but at the same time, you can't just let, well, I guess like let your imagination run wild, but at the same time, you need to remain grounded with this tame energy. So, again, coming back to this fifth house and creativity energy, sometimes when we have a lot of ideas, we have a lot of imaginations, we have a lot of things that we are set out to achieve, our brains can really just run wild. And I feel like with this Tame and a Tang, Spirit is trying to tell you that it's all good, that you might have a lot of ideas, that you might be connecting with within your matrix with a lot of people who are really helpful for you. But at the same time, do not forget that you'll have to ground yourself, that you will have to put plans in place in order for you to achieve that success that you're looking for. So that is what I am sensing from this Tame and a Tang card. And also, I feel like this number 28 might be relevant. It reduces to 10, which again reduces to number 1. And I think that's new initiative. That's something that's being birthed out of you. And it almost feels like you guys are creating something out of zero. So this is the initiation. And in order for you to fulfill that sense of creation, you will have to remain balanced and controlled and grounded during that process, while still preserving your creativity. So that's what I'm seeing with your oracle cards. And now looking at this roll of tarot cards, It is interesting that the first card that came out for you is the Eight of Wands reversed. So when Eight of Wands come up in reverse, it makes me think of rewind or kind of moving backwards, which might sound a little bit counterintuitive or just like different from what we saw here. But I feel like what Spirit is saying with this Eight of Wands is kind of resonating with that tame and attain energy. So when you are charging forward, when you're on the back of this creative horse, when you're running forward, sometimes it is easy for you to forget the details of things. Sometimes you might not necessarily think about what the consequences might be when you take certain risks. And with the Eight of Wands reversed, I am hearing slow and steady wins the race. So it is like you are creative, you are really excited to be embarking on this new journey, but Spirit is also saying that you do need a plan in place. Otherwise, by charging forward blindly, you are only going to end up hindering your own growth. So that's what I'm seeing. And with this Six of Swords, when I see Six of Swords coming up in the upright position, that makes me think of having a conversation. And again, with this Six of Swords underneath this galactic mushroom and number 24, which also reduces to six, as I just mentioned, six, for me, it means reciprocity. And it's almost like two parties coming together and then having a conversation, kind of putting two heads together, putting two minds together to come up with something that is life changing. So for this Six of Swords, I kind of see a important collaboration or important communication, an important message being exchanged. I am hearing email chain. So you might be corresponding with someone over emails, and that's going to lead you to somewhere. That's going to lead you to a new thing, success, etc. And I feel like this is Spirit calling out to you, saying that don't be afraid to embrace that reciprocity. Don't be afraid to collaborate with somebody, or letting someone around you that you trust, obviously, know what your plans are, so that you can get a different perspective that's hopefully going to complement what you already have in mind. And with this Queen of Wands centering this spread, I do think this is going to be a period of time where you're having a glow up. Again, with the fifth house, which is ruled by Leo. I can't believe I didn't mention that earlier. Oh my gosh. Okay, so with that, um, that is fixed fire energy. That is someone who's radiant of confidence, which is exactly how I would describe Queen of Wands. So she is the attractive queen who is open to socializing with everybody, and she is always the brightest star in the crowd. And you don't necessarily have to be a female identifying person to embody this energy, because everybody has a feminine side and a masculine side. It just depends on which side you're leaning more towards. And I always believe that you need to bring those two sides of you together to really achieve a state of balance. And I think with this Queen of Wands showing up here underneath the fifth house, it is really Spirit highlighting that this is your period of time to shine. Don't be afraid to take the center stage. Don't be afraid to expose yourself under the spotlight. For some reason, I'm also hearing public speaking. So you might be, I don't know, some of you guys might be doing a TED Talk, because for some reason, I just heard TED Talk. Or maybe I don't know, you're just representing a group of people and you're like on stage under the spotlight and advocating for something, for an idea, for something that you created. Maybe you're pitching something. If you're starting a company, maybe you're pitching to an investor or something. And with this Queen of Wands here, I think that spirit telling you that, hey, you got this, don't worry. You are this super attractive queen, and people have their eyes all on you, and you're just gonna rock it. So that's what I'm hearing. And then with the Four of Coins reversed, so this card, I have a couple of different interpretations for this card, but what I'm leaning the most towards today, along with the other cards here, what I'm thinking is that this is spirit calling out to you to kind of, I want to say, throw your caution or throw your worries out of the window, because when the Four of Coins is upright, in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, you see the imagery of someone holding their coins really, really close to their chest. It's like somebody being really clingy almost, and they're really afraid of losing what they have. And when Four of Coins is reversed, um, I feel like this is spirit telling you that if something doesn't work out, if something's falling away from you, that means that something is not meant for you. That means that connection, that relationship, that achievement, that job, whatever it is not coming true for a reason, and it is for your highest good. So your vibrations right now are rising, and I feel this new energy, this regeneration really happening. And this Four of Coins reversed is saying that if something that you've been wanting kind of falls away from you, that's because there's something better. There's something better waiting for you down the line. So don't be worried about whatever that might have already happened, or just don't be super worried about the result. If you're expecting some sort of result, or if you're expecting to hear back from somebody, with the Four of Coins reversed, I feel like spirit is saying that you will have what you need, and if something doesn't come true, that's because it is not meant for you, and you're always going to have something even better, and you don't necessarily have to hold on that tightly to the thing that you want. And then with the Five of Cups reversed and the Ace of Coins, so these two cards, if you watch the shuffling process, then you would have seen that these two popped up together, which I thought was quite interesting. This is also the reason why I thought, oh, maybe this pile is more about something in the material world. It could be about your studies, it could be about your career. Overall, this seems to be something, I think it's going to be something finance related for most of you. And with the Five of Cups reversed, I think you might have gone through a period of difficulty. You might have gone through something that really kind of disappointed you. And I'm really sorry that happened. And I think Spirit now is saying that it is time for you to move on. It is time for you to look forward, because this Five of Cups came out reversed. And that is saying the disappointment is now being left behind, and you are recovering from whatever this is. And Spirit has a surprise for you with this Ace of Coins. There's going to be a new opportunity, something very concrete, an offer coming up for you that's going to make you really, really happy. And you're just going to forget all about your spilled cups from whatever happened before. So that is what I'm seeing with all of these cards. And now to wrap up your reading, I want to shuffle another deck. with some messages from Archangel Michael to see whether Spirit has any additional advice for you. So let's see, Spirit. Do you have any additional advice? For my dear pile number one. We just got a bunch of cards that fell out from the deck and they flew across the room. So we've got number 17, it's time to play. That's beautiful. And we've got number 4, be a light to others. Okay. So first of all, number 17, that's the number of the star card in tarot, which means wish being fulfilled. And it is also a card that reminds me of soul connection, star family. And I think this is Spirit confirming that they are looking out for you in the higher realm and that you don't have to worry about anything. Things are working out for you just fine. And also with this, it's time to play. This is really kind of resonating with that 5th house energy, which is also indicative of hobbies, interests, some sort of creative endeavor that you might have been interested in but didn't have time to really delve into. And Spirit is saying that now it's time for you to embrace that creative side of yours. You don't have to wait anymore. And on this card, it says, you are working too hard and worrying about everything. Seek out joyous experiences to bring balance into your life. I think that's what we've been saying all along. And then along with this card, be a light to others. Number 4 is the number of the Emperor card in tarot, which reminds me of authority and leadership. So again, going back to the point where I mentioned about like public speaking, TED Talk, taking the center stage and being exposed under the spotlight, I feel like there might be an opportunity coming up for you pretty soon, and you could express yourself to other people. And there's going to be a platform where you could do that to perhaps a big crowd, if that is your thing. It says here, you have a wonderful message to, you have a powerful message to share. Shine your light on the world so that others can learn from you. I honestly think, wow, this is kind of freaky because I didn't know this card was going to come up, but I was thinking that you might be teaching something to someone, and it might not be just one person or two, 3 people. It could be literally in like a group setting. Perhaps it's like a discussion, or again, like a presentation, a pitch, something like that. And I think it's gonna, like, your opportunity is gonna come up for you to really just share what you have with others. And that's going to be very inspiring. That's going to be a light to other people. Wow. Honestly, I'm very curious. So if you do resonate with this message, please do feel free to leave a comment down below. I'd be really curious to see what this is all about. But okay, so I think that's all I'm seeing for you, my dear pile number 1. That's all the messages that I have received for you. Thank you so much for sharing this divine time with me. I really appreciate your support. If you did like this reading, please feel free to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to click on that notification bell so that you will never miss a reading that I upload in the future. And I think that's it for today. Thanks again for your support. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye! Hey loves, if you have chosen this Wandering Star Tarot deck along with the Blue Appetite, then this is going to be your pile. Welcome. So I'm gonna start off with shuffling. And again, if you are not interested in watching this part, you can feel free to skip ahead with the timestamp down in the description box. I do like to keep this part on camera because I like this extra time to ground myself and to connect with your group's energy. But you don't have to stay and watch this if you are not interested. No worries at all. So now I'm going to start off shuffling some of your oracles and see what Spirit has for my dear pile number 2. Please, Spirit, tone me into my dear pile number 2's energy. What messages do you have for my dear pile number 2? All right, let's see. Okay. There we go. What else, Spirit? What? Oof, that was fast. Okay. We've got a color theme going already. Let's see what else, Spirit. What messages do you have for my dear pile number 2? Please, Spirit. Ooh. That was 3 cards. I'm gonna take 1. Let's see. Okay. And now let's dive in with tarot. Spirit, what messages do you have? Oof. For my pile. Oof. Wow. Okay. So I do think Spirit has a lot to say with this reading. Okay. 2 more, please, Spirit. Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay. That was really, really fast. Okay. Also, for some reason, I'm getting very, very shaky during the shuffling process. I'm usually not this shaky. It almost just feels like a lot of, there's a lot of energy coming through, and oof, wow, let me take a deep breath. All right. Okay, so that was your shuffling process. Now let's dive into your reading. All right, welcome to your reading pile number 2. So if you have just watched the shuffling process, you know how much energy was coming through for you today. It was crazy. Oh my gosh, I'm still like, just my hair, like the hair on my back, I feel like it's just standing right now, and I'm getting like this chilly feeling all over. It seems like there is a really important message from Spirit to you today. So the first card that came through was the 10th house with the keyword the world, along with number 34. So number 34 reduces to 7, which corresponds to the Chariot card in tarot. And that's all about balance, about forward movement, about balancing yin and yang so that you can achieve the best state of mind as you move along a path that leads you to your victory. And with the 10th house, this is the house that makes me think of career, your worldly success. For people who have chosen this pile, I feel like you might be a very ambitious person. You might have a lot of big goals. You might have a lot of things that you're set out to achieve. And I feel that you might be under a lot of pressure, and that's not necessarily from other people or from the environment. That's literally coming from within you, because I mean, at least that's my general impression of my Capricorn people. I do have really close family members who are Capricorn, and I feel like all of them At least the people that I know of who are Capricorns, they are very driven, they're very ambitious, they place a lot of weight on their career, and also they're just so used to figuring things out by themselves. And sometimes it's not like they're ashamed of asking for help. It's almost like it's not an option for them. It's just not in their brain. It's very much engraved in their brain that, oh, I need to figure things out for myself. This is what I need to do for myself, which is quite interesting. Um, and I am already sensing that there's quite a heavy sort of energy. And I feel like this is kind of spirit reminding you that if you do have something, some sort of worldly achievement that you are looking to accomplish this year, then perhaps it is time for you to really take care of yourself so that you can remain sustainable, for lack of a better expression. There is a saying in the industry that I work in. It says so basically it's like, oh, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Some of my colleagues really like saying that, and I feel like that's just what I was hearing when I look at this card. So whatever you're looking to achieve here, it might be something that's been taking you a long while, because Capricorn is an earth sign, and the earth energy usually is slower. It takes time. Once you plant the seed, it does take time for the seed to grow. So you might be getting into kind of like a frustrating period of time where you feel like the things that you've been working hard towards are not necessarily giving you the sense of achievement just yet. But I do think Spirit is reassuring you that you have the skill sets, you have the capabilities to achieve the thing that you want. It's just that sometimes you might also want to kind of pace yourself and take a rest. And with the second card right here, it says unmarked trail with revelation and number 57, which reduces to 12, and then that reduces to 3. So number 3 is the Empress card within tarot, and that's all about abundance. That's all about cultivating or enjoying the worldly success, enjoying abundance. Empress is the feminine energy of receiving. And here, with the revelation and unmarked trail here, I feel like Spirit is saying that you might be on a path that is unfamiliar to you. You might be on a path where you feel like you're not sure about what the next steps are. You might be on a completely new journey. Maybe it's not just new for you, it might be something that literally is unmarked by everybody, by the humankind. And however, if you're open to receiving, if you really embody that feminine, receptive, intuitive energy, that revelation is going to come to you. And I'm hearing that you already know the answer. You just don't, you might not be aware of it just yet. And what it takes is for you to kind of just take a pause and really open up your heart. And again, I was saying when I was shuffling, when these two cards popped out, I was like, oh yeah, like we've got a green kind of color theme going on here. And the color green reminds me of the heart chakra. So I do think that you might have been struggling in terms of opening up to other people or just opening up to yourself, acknowledging your own feelings. And I think that is what Spirit is calling you to really embrace. Like, at least you should be aware of your own feelings if you're not super comfortable talking to other people about your emotions. If that's not something that you feel comfortable doing, then I think Spirit is saying that for your health, for your achievement, for you to be able to progress forward, you need to take care of yourself, while also focusing on the worldly success. Because with the 10th house in the world, it also reminds me of someone who really cares about how other people see them, like the public image, how you, like other people's impressions of you, how you carry yourself in a social setting, in the world, literally. Um, and I do feel like Spirit is saying that it's okay for you to be on this unmarked trail. It is okay for you to be different. And it's okay if other people don't necessarily understand you, as long as you acknowledge yourself. So, and I think that kind of, with this self-worth, self-love, self-value, self-respect card, I think this is really Spirit reiterating that message. I think this is really pretty straightforward. With number 11 here, again, that's a master number, and that is the number for the great psychic, for someone who's really toned into their intuitive power, to their inner knowing. And I think Spirit is calling you to kind of shift your focus to the inner aspect of yourself, to the inner world, instead of simply remaining focused on the outer world, if that makes sense. And at the same time, I think, I don't know what these things are. I think these are golden coins. They look like golden coins. And with this pig, I think it's a pig, yeah, like smiling and sitting on top of this pile of golden coins, I feel like that's what Spirit is saying. It's that you already have what you need. You have created this abundance, and you have achieved a certain type of material success, or you might be on your way to elevating yourself, to achieving the certain material success that you've been wanting. But at the same time, on top of that, you also need all of these things in order for you to really enjoy the fruits of your labor. So that's what I'm seeing. And speaking of fruits of your labor, with this Eight of Pentacles popping up right here, and on this card it says education, achievement, hard work, and results. With this card, and also you see like all of these bees here, I think it's talking about, again, this is really making me think of your career, your work, something that you've been really, really focusing a lot on, because Eight of Pentacles, that's also about mastery, mastering a certain skills, about putting in efforts so that you could really just be very well practiced at whatever you're doing. And I think this is Spirit saying that you are on the right path. You're on your way there to receive your achievement. Because when you look at this person, they already have this golden coin. They have this pentacle in their hands already. And you see these fruits kind of growing on the tree. So it is almost time for you to harvest. And I think Spirit is also saying that it is okay for you to take a pause occasionally if you feel a little bit too overwhelmed. And at the same time, Spirit is also saying that you should stay focused on what you're doing here. So again, with this unmarked trail, maybe you've been doubting yourself. Maybe you've been doubting the path that you've been on. And with this Eight of Pentacles, I think Spirit is reaffirming that whatever you have chosen to do, that is the right thing for you. It's just that right now you're still at this stage where you're kind of on the way to mastering that skill, but you are on your way to harvesting whatever you've been cultivating. And then with the mother star reversed along with this creator upright, it is interesting how these cards came out together when I was shuffling, and these two cards are the extra unique cards in this deck. So these are not within the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot. I thought it's interesting that you got a yes in reverse and then a no upright, because whenever I see this Mother Star card, it reminds me of the Chariot, because this lady here, she's kind of like holding a sword and a cup, and it reminds me of the balance of emotion and mind. Like when there's that kind of dual energy, for some reason I just think of the Chariot, and I just feel like, oh, like maybe you're not in a super balanced state, and that is why that yes is reversed. So whatever you're seeking, the reason why it hasn't happened is because you might be focusing too much on your mind, and you need to pay a little bit more attention to your cup, to what you've been feeling, to your emotions. And with this creator and all of this cloud and lightning behind this lady depicted right here, this card reminds me of the Tower card in tarot, and that's corresponding to the Mars energy, which is kind of like a very fast-moving, decisive energy, because Mars is literally related to war. And I feel like you might be embodying this creator energy, but again, whatever you're manifesting might not be working out for you because you're not in a balanced state, because there's literally a war going on within you, and you are your worst enemy. And with that, with these two cards jumping out together in parallel, I think Spirit is saying that in order for you to create, in order for you to give birth, to manifest whatever it is that you want, you need to not only have the masculine, the Mars action-oriented initiative sort of energy, you also need the more feminine, motherly, receptive, nurturing energy. And when you have both of them in balance, when you have both your mind and your emotions in balance, that's when you can stay connected with your higher self. That's when you can receive clear guidance from your spirit guides, your soul family, and your guardian angels. And that's how you will end up achieving what you want. And this is a difficult process, not gonna lie. It seems like you might have been going through something really difficult. And I just want to give you a big hug, and I really, really want to let you know that Spirit is cheering for you, your spirit team, your soul family. They're all here with you. They're cheering for you. They really want you to know that they are here for you. You're never alone. So, because with the Strengths card reversed here, I think Spirit also recognizes that this might have been a very difficult challenge for you. And you might be lacking courage. You might feel like you're really overwhelmed. And you might be a little bit impatient because the results have not come to you. At least it hasn't worked out the way that you wanted just yet. But you are capable of taming that line, and you are capable of achieving what you want. It's just that you have to acknowledge your feelings, even though your feelings might not be so positive, it is okay, because that's part of our human experience. You can't be positive all the time. You cannot always be on top of the world all the time. That's not what we are here to do. We're here to learn lessons. We're here to receive guidance, and we're here just to be ourselves, to be humans. And it is okay for you to feel like, oh, I can't do this. I don't have enough self-confidence. I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure if I'm on the right path. I need some sort of confirmation from Spirit. And I think Spirit is saying that revelation is coming. It is coming towards you. And Spirit is saying that you have that inner strength with you. You just have to let it out. You just have to manifest that in your 3D life. And with this Page of Swords here, it says curiosity, intelligence, charm, and ambition. So this is kind of reiterating the point I was saying earlier with this 10th house in the world. Again, I think for the people who have chosen this pile, you might be very ambitious people. You might have a lot of worldly goals that you're trying to achieve. And with this Page of Swords, I think it is Spirit saying that you need to be open to learning. You need to be open to new experience. And you're still in the process of curating or developing your intelligence, your experience in this field that you're interested in. And it is okay for you to really embrace that beginner's mindset. You don't necessarily have to set such high bars for yourself, because you might be just starting out. And you might even be doing something that nobody has done before with this unmarked trail again. So it is okay for you to be a page. And don't be too harsh on yourself if you need to learn a little bit more, if you need more time to really manifest that ambition of yours. Just stay curious. Let yourself, just always remind yourself that questions are not dumb. It is okay for you to learn from other people, to seek out information that's helpful for you. And I feel like that's what Spirit has been encouraging you to do. So that's what I'm seeing for this part of the reading. And before I wrap up, I do want to pull out a couple cards from the Archangel Michael deck to see if Spirit has any additional messages, encouragements, or most importantly, advice for you. So those two popped up real quick. We have number 12, embrace your life purpose. And we also have number 28, someone new is coming. Okay, that's very interesting. Also, this is glaring so hard, but I do think you could still see the words. Okay, yeah, I guess that'll have to do, unfortunately. I'll adjust the lighting in a bit, I guess. So with this number 12, this is the number of the Hanged Man in traditional Rider-Waite tarot. And the Hanged Man is all about surrender to the process and to gain a new perspective while you surrender to the process. And you could see that there's this cat that's looking very curious, that is kind of paying attention to this butterfly right here. And I think this might be some sort of a new understanding. That might be a symbol for your rebirth. And here it says, I am guiding you toward your divine life purpose. Whatever makes your heart joyful is what you're meant to be doing. And I think it's really interesting how, like I just mentioned, heart chakra with these two cards that has a lot of green color. I feel like this is Spirit kind of confirming that message, where I think it's saying that you're on the right path. You are being aligned with your life purpose, and you just have to let yourself embrace that. You just have to trust yourself. And I know sometimes that's the most difficult thing in the world. But if you're watching this, I think Spirit is telling you that, hey, you're on the right path. You are on your way to achieving your life purpose. So just surrender to the process. And with this imagery right here, I think it might be helpful for you to keep a dream journal, because Spirit might be coming through with messages in your dreams. Or maybe it's helpful for you to keep a manifestation journal if that is something that you're interested in, of course. And then with this someone new is coming, when I saw the Page of Swords, I was kind of thinking, oh, maybe this means you need to learn something from someone. Maybe you need to seek out information that's really going to help you throughout this process. And with this someone new is coming, I feel like maybe this is talking about perhaps a mentor or just someone who's going to be really, really helpful for you to know yourself even deeper, for you to get new understandings. That's really going to help you down the line. And it says here, an important new relationship is on the horizon. Open your mind and heart. Again, opening up your heart to receiving. That happiness can enter your life. And I feel like with these pigeons here, they are messengers. For me, at least, when I see a pigeon, I think of messengers. So I think whatever information you need, it's already on its way to you. And this person might be coming into your life very, very soon. And with this number 28 here, because I think 28 days, that's a moon cycle. It's basically like a month's time. And this perhaps is Spirit indicating that within the next 28 days, there's going to be someone new coming in to really boost you up, to lift you up. So yeah, I think that's all I'm seeing for you, my dear pile number 2. Thank you so, so, so much for watching my video. And if you did resonate with this content, please don't forget to leave me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to click on the notification bell so that you'll never miss a reading that I upload in the future. And again, thank you so much for sharing this divine time with me. I wish you all the best and sending you lots of love and light. So that's it for today. Thank you, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 3. If you have chosen the Star Spinner Tarot along with the Amethyst, then this is going to be your reading. Welcome. So I'm going to start off with the shuffling process. And again, you don't have to stay here if you're not interested in watching me shuffle. I just like to keep this part on camera to give myself some extra time to stay grounded and also to tone myself into your group's energy. And you don't have to stay and watch this. If you don't want to, you can skip ahead with the corresponding timestamps down in the description box. So I'm going to start off with some oracle cards for my dear pile number 3. Spirit, what important messages do you have today for my dear pile number 3? What important message do you have for my dear pile number 3, please, Spirit? All right. Okay. What important message do you have for my dear pile number 3, Spirit? Please allow me to tune into my pile 3's energy. Please allow me to tune into pile number 3's energy. Oof. Wow, that one just flew across the room. Oh my gosh. Okay. And now let's move on to tarot. So what exactly do you have? What messages do you have, Spirit, for pile number 3? I feel this is supposed to be upright. What do you have for my dear pile number 3, please, Spirit? Ooh, what else? Spirit, what else do you have for my dear pile number 3? Please, Spirit. Ooh. Oh my gosh, wait. Did you all see that? Oh, Jesus. Right. Okay. Do you want to be upright or reverse, please? Oops. Okay. Upright. Wow. Oh my gosh. Wow. Look at that. Talking about synchronicities. What else, Spirit? 2 more, please, for my dear pile number 3. Oops. Here we have, right. And 1 more, please, Spirit. What do you have for my dear pile number 3, please, Spirit? Oops. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So now we've got all your cards laid out. Let's hop into your reading. Hello, my pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. I've got all of your cards here ready to go. So if you've just watched the shuffling process, it is crazy. Like, look at all of these cards that came out. Like, these 3 literally came out in a roll, and you have 3 4s. Wow, that's some really, really heavy stuff. But okay, let's focus on the oracles first, and then I'm gonna move on to tarot in just a second. So with the first card that came out for you, being the moon with the keyword soul, along with number 2, which corresponds to the high priestess card in tarot, I think those of you who have chosen this pile, you might be a very highly intuitive group of people. And I think you might already have established some really strong connections with your soul family, with your spirit guide. And it is just that I'm getting this really, it's almost hard to describe, but I feel really overwhelmed, to be honest, right now. It's I'm getting a little bit disoriented, and I think that might be your energy kind of coming through during this reading. Because with the moon, it could be talking about some sort of, I think, some sort of a confusion, something that is being hidden. And I feel like you might have something that you've been wanting to know for a while. There is some sort of a truth that's been hidden from you, and you intrinsically know, intuitively, you intuitively know that there's whatever you're seeing right now, that's not the full picture. And you just want to get to the bottom of it. And for some reason, I feel like this might be about a relationship. And it could be with someone that you're pretty close to. because the moon does remind me of your roots. It does remind me of family. And also the fourth house, which is also ruled by Cancer. So this is a card that makes me feel like, oh, there's something deep going on. There's something under the surface that is going on. And you might not necessarily see what it means just yet. And with this sacred contract, the covenant here, I do feel like this might be a karmic situation playing out. Obviously, that doesn't necessarily have to apply to all of you. So take it if it resonates, and just throw it out of the window if that's not really your situation here. But with the number 7 here, which is a highly spiritual number, I feel like this might be some sort of a soul contract that you might have agreed upon with another soul before you chose to start your life here on earth. And this contract has been placed ahead of time to teach you something really, really important. And I feel like you might have been feeling limited. There is this almost like binding energy, and I feel my throat chakra closing. I feel this difficulty organizing my thought or just verbalizing what I am channeling right now, because I'm getting a lot of confusion. I'm getting a lot of just, I feel it's difficult for me to even speak. And that's not the case when I did the previous 2 piles. So I feel like this might be your energy really coming through to me with that sense of limitation. I think that's what I'm getting here. Because with this card here that says you are more, and this eagle flying above the desert, I think you're on a journey to create more, to embrace the real meaning of your life. Because I do think, I do think this is an eagle, but it reminds me of flying higher above everybody else. Egos, I think of them as a messenger of spirit, of higher beings. They're highly spiritual. They fly at a height that is not even imaginable by a lot of other birds. And that might be where you're at. I think you're an old soul, and you came here to experience life so that you can get a different perspective as a human being. And unfortunately, it just feels like you might be going through a period of time where you feel like you're not being understood by other people. And it's really interesting that when I was just saying that, the lights that I have for the camera, they just literally 2 of the lights, they just turned off, literally like just together, which I thought was really, really freaky. Because when the lights are off, that's when the darkness comes through. So you might be, I don't want to say this, but like you literally might be going through a dark night of the soul with this moon here. And you might be feeling trapped by this contract. You might be having thoughts that, oh, this is so unfair. Why am I being involved in this situation? I don't want this. and you might feel like you are literally going on a hike in a desert. Like, you don't go on a hike in a desert, but you might be feeling like, oh, like I'm trekking through this really, really difficult scene where there's literally nothing for me. There's no water. I feel very undernourished, and I don't have any companions. Um, and this sense of loneliness might be really, really tough for you to experience. And if that's the case, I am really sorry. And I want you to know that Spirit is saying that they are here for you. So, and that you have to overcome this challenge, whatever it is, in order for you to achieve higher learning, because you have reached a plateau. With the three tarot cards that came out in a roll, and all of them are fours. I feel like it is really interesting that you got the Four of Swords, the Four of Chalices, which is the Four of Cups, and the Four of Coins, or the Four of Pentacles. Because a constant theme across these three cards is a sense of stillness, is a sense of lack of satisfaction. So here, with this Four of Swords, you literally see a person just lying down. It almost looks like they're lying inside of a coffin. And they're being completely still. There's no movement whatsoever. They're just sleeping. And with this Four of Cups, you see this mermaid sitting here with this castle, and I think this is the moon, in the distance, in the background, where they're just sitting here and looking like they've been thinking of something. And also, I can sense that there's this feeling that something's missing, that whatever the situation is right now, you're not seeing a way out. You almost feel like, oh, like I'm being frozen in time. I'm being trapped here. And with this Four of Coins, this is really giving me the Rapunzel vibe, where you're being trapped in this tower, you're not seeing a way out. And even though there is an additional coin right there, there might be a different opportunity out there for you, it is not quite in front of you just yet. Like, you can't see it. It's literally behind you, and you can't really see that coming up for you. And that's why overall, like here, there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of dissatisfaction, and just stillness going on. And I can tell that it doesn't feel good to be in your shoes right now, whatever this is. If this is a relationship, maybe you've hit a point of time where it almost feels like you're in a different world from the other person. There might be almost like a thick layer of glass between you and whoever it is on the other side. You might have this desire to move things forward. You might want there to be clarity. You want to lay everything out under the sun. But unfortunately, right now it's nighttime. Right now, it's the time where all lights are off. Right now, it's a time where you have to sit still in darkness and really think about what you want. And that's part of the contract. That's part of the plan that you sign up for. That's part of the things that you have chosen for your soul for this particular incarnation. And I know it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes. Even though you might be highly spiritual, you might believe in reincarnation, believe in the soul world, and your soul's plan whatsoever. But when you're in this like really frustrating energy, sometimes you might go like, but I don't understand why. I don't understand why I have to go through this night in order for me to get to the day, to see the sunrise. But again, that's exactly what Spirit is trying to tell you here, because the next card you get is the Ace of Wands. So in order for you to get through to that spark of inspiration, to that new beginning, to a spiritual awakening, or to like a level up, because I do think if you've chosen this pile, you might already be quite spiritual, but I feel like this is almost like a advanced lesson for you, at least for yourself. So perhaps you have been like, you have already reached a stage where you feel like, oh, like I'm not having a lot of new learnings. And that's why Spirit has chosen this particular period of time for you to go through this challenge, whatever it is, so that you could upgrade yourself to this new beginning, so that you could embrace this new spiritual understanding with the Ace of Wands. And this is Spirit promising you that this dark night is going to pass. You are going to see the sunrise, and things are going to come to light, even though now it is time for the moon to illuminate just parts of the truth, not the whole truth. Now it's a time for you to sit still, even though you might be absolutely frustrated with whatever that's going on. And that is how you could eventually achieve this stage of completion, of union with your higher purpose, of this completely like just toning yourself in with your higher self, with your spiritual purpose. Because with the world, I think this card makes me think of a sense of achievement, a sense of well-roundedness, like you have finally found that last piece of the puzzle so that you can finish off this complete picture and then moving on to the next one, to the next adventure. But in order for you to get here, you have to go through these first. And it's very frustrating. And wow, I feel like another thing that I am seeing here is that when you look at this side, you see a lot of blue color. And with the color blue, that reminds me of throat chakra. So recently, you might be going through a hard time talking to people around you, or telling friends and family who are close to you about the challenges that you've been going through. An example that just popped into my head, which is very specific, so it doesn't necessarily have to be applicable to everybody. It's just that perhaps you're not having such a great time with your partner, and you've been thinking of taking legal actions against them, or maybe you are already going through some sort of a legal thing, a process with them, but you feel a little bit closed off because you've been so tired. You don't have the energy to really go through your emotions, to share what you've been through with the people around you. So you feel all alone, but you don't have to be. I think that's what Spirit's trying to remind you. You are more. You deserve more. You don't have to be that Rapunzel who's trapped in a tower if you choose to walk out. And that is how you get to that Ace of Wands moment. And wow, I want to say my pile 3, like, I'm so sorry for whatever that's been going on in your life, because I'm getting this very heavy energy, to be honest. And before I wrap up your reading, I do want to get a couple of extra cards from the Archangel Michael Oracle deck, and see whether Spirit has some additional helpful advice for you. I do think that you might be going through some really rough patches in your life. Even though this might turn out like, say, a year down the line, a couple months down the line, this might turn out to be something of a great lesson, something that you find really helpful, but still, it doesn't make it any less difficult when you are actually going through the thing. And let's see, we have number 37, welcome abundance into your life. Number 8, deeper insights are at hand. And I do feel called to get one more for you. I've got 2 cards for 2 cards each for pile 1 and pile 2. But for my dear pile number 3, I feel like we need 1 additional card. And here it is. Oh, be a light to others. Interesting. Okay. So the same card actually came out for pile number 2 as well. If you did feel called to watch pile number 2, then perhaps this is a sign. So with welcome abundance into your life, it says here prosperity is on its way to you. Have faith that source will heal your financial challenges. So with the contract thing, this could be potentially like a business dispute or something. This could be like you kind of getting into like a legal situation with your employers or with your business partner. And I think this is Spirit reassuring you that it's gonna come out fair. You're gonna get the fair result, and you are going to be surrounded by abundance. If that is something that you have been dissatisfied with, if that's something that you've been worried about, then this is Spirit's affirmation saying that, oh, like, it's okay. You don't have to be super worried. It is coming to you. It just takes a bit of time. And with the deeper insights are at hand, it says here, your overall plan is good, but the details need work. Reflect before moving forward. I think it's interesting how there's the word reflect came out, because the Four of Swords, both the Four of Swords and the Four of Chalices or the Four of Cups, the key words for these 2 cards, one of the key words for these 2 cards would be reflection. Would be like you're in a period of time of stillness, and that's when you're spending time with yourself to reflect on the decisions that you might have made, or to reflect on what you actually want to decide on the next steps. And I think it is also interesting how this lady right here, she's also wearing blue, and then we've got some blue color theme going on right over here. So I feel like this might be Spirit saying to you that deep down you already know what's going on. You just might need some extra time to be with yourself, to really sit with your thoughts and your emotions. And I do feel called to mention that meditation might be very helpful for you in terms of like getting some additional answers and advice and guidance from spirits. So that could potentially be something that you want to look into. And then last but not least, you've got number 4, be a light to others. Oh, I also did want to mention that number 8 right here, that corresponds to the Strength card in tarot, and also the sign Leo. So if you're a Leo, or if you have a lot of Leo placement, that might be a confirmation for you. And then with the Strength card, that is also talking about inner strength. It's about showing that strength, not necessarily in a forceful way, but in a very emotionally gentle, very much like a peaceful way. And I feel like that's what Spirit's calling you to embrace. And then with this be a light to others, you have a powerful message to share. Shine your light on the world so that others can learn from you. I'm getting a little bit of a different vibe from the same card, because I did mention that this card came out for a previous pile, But right now, I think it's giving me a different vibe in terms of, I feel like it's spirit calling you to take the moral high road. Um, when I see this be a light to others. So you might be struggling with what to do next. And again, what really caught my eye here is that soul contract, is that sacred contract. And I think this is spirit saying that whatever happened to you during this process, you might have been treated unfairly, but it is also important for you to kind of reconnect with yourself, to understand who you are as a person, because I don't think you are the type of person who would take unfair advantage of other people or to get back at them, to hurt other people just because they've hurt you. And I feel like this is spirit saying that you should really embrace that side of yourself. You are more. So you're more than, you're not that, like, for lack of a better word, like pitiful, like, yeah, like you're not that type of person. So if you are in a situation where you feel like, oh, the other party, the other person is not treating you fairly, and you feel very tempted to do something just to get back at them, I think this is spirit telling you that no, that's not really what you want. That's not the real you. Obviously, that doesn't have to be applicable to everybody. And sometimes I know that, like, when you're kind of in a rush of rage, you just want to lash out. But I do feel like spirit wants to tell you that, hey, we know that you're frustrated right now, but you don't necessarily want to go there. You are light, you are love, and you want to be that light to other people, because that ultimately benefits you and your soul as well. Oof, that was heavy energy, to be honest. Wow. So pile number 3, that's all I'm seeing with your cards. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, like I really appreciate you being here. That was some really intense energy, to be completely honest. And I just want to say that if you did resonate with this reading, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and click on that notification bell so that you'll never miss a reading that I upload in the future. If you did find the content of this video helpful, I would also really appreciate you leaving a comment down below if you feel comfortable sharing with the community what's been going on, because I do feel like this is probably the most challenging pile that I have filmed so far. And again, thank you very much for sharing this divine time with me. I wish you all the best, sending you lots of love and light as well. So that's it for today. I guess I'll hopefully see you in the next reading. Bye.